Hey, shalom, mishpachah, my family. Okay, so in the last couple of days, Abba has brought some things to my attention that go all the way back to actually around Sukkot this year. And so I ended up taking this dream that Abba had given me, and he had given me some other information during that Sukkot camping trip as well. And so I actually wanted to share it on the channel because I realized that I have been getting messages from him that are all tied together like a puzzle piece. So I'm going to just share each piece as I feel led, one after another. I'm going to be doing other videos on top of this one, so not sure what I'm going to call this. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a series, but it's different dreams that connect. So anyways, okay, so what we got here is right here at the top, I've got Sukkot. We did our Sukkot, I think it started on like the 3rd or 4th or 5th or something like that of October. So the first part of October of 2022, this year, I had a dream, and the dream started out where I'm in like a city and there's people everywhere. There's chaos, okay? And there's people all over the place, and there's like just destruction going on. And so we see here a bunch of houses and people, and then there's a road. And right there circled is, I guess you could call it a depiction of me. And so we've got Hey, or more appropriately Ha, the pictograph Ha. And this will be important to remember because the pictograph that most people pronounce as Hey is actually Ha. And I'll do this real quick. I've got my board up here, but you can see Hey right there, okay? And that will be significant because it ties into a video I'm going to do after this one that ties into the puzzle, okay? So I'm seeing chaos all over the place. And I ended up standing, I think I was like on a sidewalk right next to this road right here. And so I end up going into one of these houses, okay? And I walk up the stairs and I go to the second level of the house. And so we've got bait here. We've got me entering a house and going up to the second level of this bait. So then I recognize there's no one in this house. So it's just me. I'm all by myself. So I went from being outside of the house, chaos everywhere, to going into this house and there's nobody there. It's just me. And then I end up going into this room, okay? And the room, it's almost as if I entered, okay? So here's Dalit. I entered the room from the south side. And I walked in through the Dalit, the door, and into this room. And I'm looking at the east wall. So this is like a depiction of when you determine direction in the Hebraic mindset, you always look eastward. And so I'm looking at this east wall in this room, and it is completely turquoise, my favorite color. And on this wall, I see 3 calendars in this coral color. So I walk through the doll at the door and I look towards the east wall and I see 3 calendars. And after I see these 3 coral calendars on this turquoise wall, I ended up exiting the, oh, wait, no, I didn't exit the dream yet. So then let's go down here. All right. So after I saw that wall, then I put my hand upon a paint roller, and I dipped the paint roller into the paint pan, and it was dipped in the coral paint. And I took that roller like you would if you were painting a wall, and I went up and down and up again. Okay, so if you can get that visual, I went up and then down and up. And I covered half of the first calendar. So I was given the interpretation that the 3 calendars were 3 years. And me painting over half of the first calendar meant half. So there was 3.5. Okay. And what I understood here is this is 3.5 years, which is 42 months. Now, upon waking from this, I drew it. Actually, it's over there on the floor right now. I drew it on that. And so today I felt led, I guess by the Ruach, to just draw all of this. Just take all of it. So, oh, and I forgot to mention this. So my yod and my kaf, my arm and my hand grabbed a hold of the paint roller, and I painted over half of that first calendar. So what ended up happening is after I woke from this dream and I drew it during Sukkot, I got really excited. And the following day, I believe it was, I woke up, and I might be missing some details here, but I know I wrote them down in my dream journal. So if I'm forgetting anything, I'll just add it on to the next video. But I'm going off of just memory right now. So upon waking, I believe it was the following day, the following night, I ended up getting an interpretation for the dream. And Abba showed me by giving me the words times, time, and half a time. And when I heard that in my spirit, I went straight to scripture and I typed in my Strong's Concordance, on my phone, I typed in times, time, and half a time. And it sent me straight to Revelation 12. And in that, it references Daniel 12 and 7. So I actually wanted to read that to you guys here. And let's see here. Okay. So 12. Okay, so Revelation 12 and 14. And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle to fly into the wilderness to her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time. And see, it references Daniel 7:25 and Daniel 12:7. Times, time, and half a time from the presence of the serpent. Okay. And so that was what I was given. So then, of course, I went to Daniel 7 and Daniel 12, and I'll read those real quick here too. Okay. Daniel 12 and verse, where is it? Okay, I'm just going to read through it. I guess I didn't mark it. So Daniel 12, it reads, Now at that time Michael, shall stand up, the great head who is standing over the sons of your people. There shall be a time of distress, such as never was since there was a nation until that time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, everyone who is found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth wake up, some to everlasting life, and some to reproaches and everlasting abhorrence. And those who have insight shall shine like the brightness of the expanse. And those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, hide the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall diligently search, and knowledge shall increase. Then I, Daniel, looked and saw two others standing, one on this bank of the river and the other on the other bank. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm reading right now, because this also ties into the pictograph He or Ha number 5. Okay, so it's a person, all right? And it says, then I, Daniel, looked and saw two others standing. And it's interesting, it's verse 5-2 here. One on this bank of the river and the other on that bank. And one said to the man dressed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, how long until the end of these wonders? And I heard the man dressed in linen who was above the waters of the river. And he held up his right hand. So he held up his yod, his kaf. And he held and his left hand to the heavens. So he held up his right hand and his left hand. Okay, this is very significant because this is another depiction of He and a man with raised arms. And he held up his right hand and his left hand to the heavens and swore by him who lives forever that it would be for an appointed time, appointed times and half a time. So just another way of saying times, time, and half a time. And when they have ended scattering the power, okay, so that's the yod, that's the works, that's the works and the power of Abba through his people. And when they have ended scattering the power of the set apart people, then all these shall be completed. And I heard, but I did not understand. So I said, my master, what is the latter end of these matters? And he said, go, Daniel, for the words are hidden and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be cleansed and made white and refined. That's exactly what's going on with Yahweh's people right now. We shall be cleansed and made white and refined. All tribes, tongues, nations, and people that truly have a heart for a great spirit, Yahweh, our great Tatanka, our great Elohim, and Aleph. All of us that have a heart for him are being cleansed and made clean. That reference to white is not talking about skin tone. Okay, just making that very obvious. White has to do with purity and sanctification. White has to do with light. And so when we're no longer in these fleshly bodies, we do not take on a skin color. We will all be light. Like a light, when you look at it, it has a white glow to it. Okay? So right here it says, many shall be cleansed and made white and refined. But the wrong shall do wrong, and none of the wrong shall understand. But those who have insight shall understand. And from that time that which is continual is taken away, and the abomination that lays waste to set up is 1,290 days. So we've got several, well, I'm going to keep reading, then I'll say this. Blessed is he who is waiting earnestly and comes to the 1,335 days. But you go your way till the end and rest and arise to your lot at the end of the days. So when it comes to this 1,290 days, there's 1,235 days. There's 1,260 days. Okay, so all of these are different periods of time, but they're actually all very close to 3.5 years. And so this ties into what I was shown in my dream, and you guys will see the whole picture. Not pun intended, the whole picture, because I don't know exactly what all this, what all this means. I don't have all the puzzle pieces, but I do know that I was given this, and then I had a girlfriend who was shown something regard 42 months, and she actually helped me understand some things through this, that the Father, or what the Ruach of Abba spoke to her. But then, okay, I wanted to read also Daniel. Let's see, where is that? Okay, Daniel 7, verse 4. Okay, put it up here. All right. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, different from one another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I underlined that because it's very significant to a video I'm going to be doing, a part of all of this that I'm speaking about right now. It ties into this dream from, like I said, in October. So the eagle's wings, okay? And then it goes on to say, I was looking until its wings were plucked off, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand on 2 feet like a man, and it was given a man's heart. Now, I'm not going to read anything more into that, but these were the references that I was shown in regards to Revelation 12. And then the last thing I want to say on this video is this happened recently, actually. So right here, you see the reference of Matthew 16, verses 2 through 3. And let me go to that real quick. Matthew 16. Okay. All right. Okay. So, what I was shown recently was, I felt that the colors that were shown in the dream were very significant, and not just because I really like these 2 colors, but my favorite color is like turquoise, teal, kind of like bluish green colors. And so this actually isn't my most favorite color, but I do like it a lot. And so it kind of ties into the turquoisey teal colors that are my favorite. And so I'm like, okay, but then the fact that it had coral calendars upon it, I was like, there's something significant about this. And so I'm not sure when it occurred, but it was recently, where I remember we were driving down the road or looking up at the sky somewhere, and I remember seeing the sky, and I'm not kidding y'all, it was literally like a turquoisey blue color, and it had coral clouds. And I knew right then that was exactly what was shown to me in my dream. So I was given the understanding through the set apart Ruach of Abba Yahweh, our great spirit. And I was given the interpretation that this has to do with the signs of the times. So if we read in Matthew, in verse, let's see, where's it at? Okay, 2 and 3. So 16, 2 and 3. It says, actually, I'll just start at the beginning. And the Pharisees and Sadducees came, and trying him, asked that he would show them a sign from heaven. So an oath. This is in a negative sense, obviously, because they were wanting to see a sign from him because of their disbelief. And he answering said to them, when it is evening, you say, fair weather, for the heaven is red. And in the morning, stormy weather, today. For the heaven is red and overcast. You know how to discern the face of the heavens. So, in other words, you know how to determine the daily weather and the forecast. You know how to discern the face of the heaven, but you are unable to discern the signs of the times. So he's saying, okay, you know how to determine what the weather's going to be like, but you don't even know how to discern the signs of the times. It says we don't know the day nor the hour, but he most certainly will reveal to his prophets the signs of the times to determine what is happening. And he's not going to keep his children in the dark when it comes to knowing when the end of days are, which is now. So, I'll go ahead and continue reading here. A wicked and adulterous generation shall seek after a sign, an oath, and no sign shall be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and went away. Okay, so this was what came to my mind as soon as I was shown that the sky I was looking at the time fell in line with Matthew 16 verses 2 and 3 that I read. And that had to do with the signs of the times. So this is what I recognized from receiving this dream, and then in a partial interpretation of what it actually was meaning, was that there's 3.5 years or 42 months till something. And so I don't know exactly what that means. I just know where I was sent and what scriptures Abba had given me. And so I'm assuming, because he's given this to me at this time, that we're going to be experiencing something big. And I've been talking about that. In fact, I started talking about it on the channel back in, I guess it was 2020. Yeah. So back in 2020, I talked about the earthquake and an earthquake coming to America. And I showed you guys, those that still follow this channel, if you do, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because I literally was shown that there's going to be an earthquake in America in coming years. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, and I don't know everything pertaining to it, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that there is going to be an earthquake that rocks the United States. And it's because of judgment. We are in judgment. Abba's been showing me where we are in Scripture. I've been getting little glimpses, little flickers of light, if you will, of information for the past couple of years. This is coming down. And I'm sounding the alarm. Okay, I realized that I kind of dropped the ball or dropped the mic, however you want to look at it, because I didn't realize, with everything that has been going on in our lives lately, I did not realize all the information that was creating a little puzzle that he had been giving me. Because sometimes I just don't, I don't know if it's apathy. I don't know what it is, guys, but sometimes I get to the point where there's just so much on my plate that just everything that I just happen to experience, I don't always recognize all the pieces falling in line are creating a picture in my life. And so I don't do a video on it. But I realized, I guess it was yesterday, I'm like, I need to sit down. I need to draw this out so I can actually make sense of all this stuff in my brain, because I've received a lot of information lately, and I'm like, dude, this has been going back since, for a couple months now. I need to share this with folks, because if we take the gifts that Abba is sharing with us and we just bury them in the sand, in the dirt, are we warning the flock? Are we loving our neighbor as ourselves by sharing what is going on? No, we're not. We're just keeping it. We're not doing anything with it. And I don't want to be that worthless servant. You guys know what books I'm talking about, or all that, all that stuff pertaining to that. I don't want to be that wicked servant who, did nothing with the talent that was given to me. And so here's what I got for y'all today. And I hope this blesses some folks. And if you guys got anything to share about this, please, add it in the comments and share it with those that you feel, needs to hear this message. Otherwise, take it all to Abba. I'm just a messenger, and this is what he shared with me, and I wanted to share it with y'all. And who knows, maybe one of y'all out there have got another piece to add into this equation. But this is all I've got. So, hey guys. So I went back to my dream journal entry, and I realized that there was some details that I had forgotten, and I wanted to share them with y'all. So right here, I realized when I made this journal entry, my original thought process was 2.5 years. And when I finally was given the understanding of 42 months and it computed in my brain, I was like, wait, 3 calendars and then rolling over another half would be 3.5. But I had wrote down 2.5 at the time. And so right here it says I woke up, so I had woken up from that dream. And I woke up about 10 a.m. Okay, this was after the initial dream. This was when Abba gave me the interpretation of what he had shown me. And I woke up about 10 a.m. to find the words. Okay, so that was times time and half a time. But then I was also thinking about garments and priestly attire. And that's when I I looked up half a time, sent to Daniel 12, Revelation 12. They're a mirror image, or I guess you could say they're books that pair together. And then this was actually something I'm going to put into the next video, but it says here, when I was reading in Daniel 12:7, it reveals right hand and left hand. And there's 5 again. Hey, or what I like to say is ha, ha. And this will make more sense. I did a video before talking about the experience that I had received regarding the sickness in 5 on the channel. But that actually ties into this video here, so I might end up kind of bringing it all together. But then I remember Christy at the time, Abba speaks to her through numbers, so she delivers number messages, and that is I guess something that has been revealed to her. And so Christy had been seeing 42 and was shown 42 months in regards to what Abba had shown me. And so I wanted to add that, but the priestly attire right here, that was the part that I had forgotten about. So I remembered the times time and half a time, but then there was also upon my head, or my mind, priestly garments, our attire. So our attire, rather than looking in a physical sense, in a spiritual sense, it's describing what we wear upon ourselves as far as our character goes. And that goes back to hey, or ha, ha, with the pictograph number 5. And it has to do with who we are. The breath of Abba has to do with our character. And how are we witnessing the character of Abba through us? Because his name is our DNA code. And anyways, so that's just what I wanted to add here at the end of this video. Okay, shalom. Bye.